Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to the Geiselsberg map. Man, it has been an ordeal, if you only knew. Well, you will know in a second, because I'm fixing to tell you. So it is now the morning after the day that we were in the last episode. We were mowing grass, we were baling it, we were wrapping it. And we got all that done. Well, I got all that done. I got a ton off camera. It took me hours. No joke, no exaggeration. It took me hours to finish field 6-3, which is, sometimes we get a cursor, sometimes we don't. It's the big field over here to the southeast of the farm. So all these fields now, well, they've actually grown back since then. They're harvestable again, but field 45 is a numbered field, 63 is a numbered field, crop grass, and then under the farm, south of the farm, and I guess a little bit more southeast of the farm, this is a meadow grass field as well. These have all been triple fertilized and are ready to go. Well, when they hit second growth stage, they will be ready to go again. But I am never baling these and never hauling bales up to the barn again. 270 some odd bales, I think, when all was said and done. Never doing that again. We'll get into that in a moment here. I took some of the proceeds from this. I believe we made about 300,000 euro, maybe a little bit more than that. I took some of the proceeds and I bought field 3-3 and field 4-3, and I planted them with canola. Now we need to step out of the immersion a little bit because fields 4-4, 5-6, and 5-7 are ready to harvest canola, and here we are planting canola next to it, right? It's not a super immersive episode. When this is ripe, fields 3-3 and 4-3, when this is ripe, we will harvest all these fields, and I believe there's about 300,000 euro of canola there. We've also got 200,000 plus euro of soybean in the silo. We're going to sell a little bit of that today. So this is going to be an odd episode. Originally, my plan was, well, let's go back to the map and I'll show you. This is going to be, first let's get a little more eye-friendly color. That orange is rough. There we go. So we don't own a BGA. That's why we were baling and wrapping, so we could sell those bales at the barn, because we don't own a BGA. There's one out here. It is 300,000 euro. There's one up here. It is 200,000 euro. Neither of them have pull-through clamps, and both of them, the roads, there's traffic on this road through town. These forest roads are single lane. Again, I don't know if you're getting a cursor. Sometimes the cursor shows up, sometimes it doesn't. We could make loops for courseplay so that our tippers were not interfering with one another. So as an example, and again, if you can see the cursor, this will make sense. If you can't, it might be a little hard to follow. But this BGA that's now highlighted out to the west, the road that goes down past field 20, 21, 32, etc., back to the farm, this is a single lane road. So if we wanted to have multiple tippers servicing a forage harvester, right, gathering up grass, mowed grass in these fields south of the farm, we would need to construct some type of elaborate loop for courseplay to run. And even so, there are not pull-through clamps. Sometimes courseplay can figure out how to back up. Sometimes it cannot. So it could be that all the trucks could do is get to the BGA, and then we would need to tab into them and empty them manually. But then, I had me an idea. We don't need to buy an existing BGA. We can build our own, as we did on Holzer map. And so I tried to do that. I tried to do that 3 separate times, and I absolutely destroyed the map 3 separate times. The placeable system, maybe in Farm Sim 2021, it will be ready. It will be out of beta. But at the moment, the placeable system is just an absolute disaster. Unless you're placing on land that is just pool table smooth, it destroys the terrain. It just throws it into utter chaos. It undoes all the work that the map maker put into it. And really, there are no flat maps. There's never a perfectly flat area to build in. So then you have to get into the sculpting tool to try to smooth things out. But very often, it tells you this area cannot be deformed. This terrain cannot be sculpted, and so you end up with just a big, ugly mess. It can be very, very frustrating. Fortunately, I found a backup. There is an automatic backup system But even that is not intuitive, and you need to manually load the files and copy files over. Either way, I tried for you. I really, really did. Now, that meadow on Holzer map was very flat, and it worked there. But I could not find a flat enough place to put either the BGA or the pull-through clamps, which look like this. There they are right there. And I thought if we could place one of these and then build some road from either end of it, we could have our trailers, whether they're on a truck or a tractor, we could have our trailers, and there's plenty of room for them to maneuver in these big open fields. So we could set up courseplay in a way that they did not interfere with one another. And then when they got to that pull-through clamp, they could pull in one end, unload, pull out the other, loop back around, and we could get a little production line going. None of that worked out. Absolutely none of it. It was not a good episode, particularly when I sat down to record, I thought I just needed to finish off a little bit of mowing and we'd be good to go. It took me hours, as I said, to finish all that mowing, and then started trying to record, and it went from bad to worse. So it is almost 5 p.m. I normally record around 7 a.m. It's almost 5 p.m. I've literally been working on this video all day. I'm not complaining. It's not like I'm digging for coal or anything. It is just, it's half funny and half really frustrating. But like I said, we're gonna have a slightly different episode because we got to do something. We were harvesting 2 episodes ago, harvesting soybeans. We were mowing the last episode. We can't do either one of those. We have nothing to seed or plant right now. The animals are all taken care of, so we're just going to sell some things and have a think and have a talk and try to figure out what to do next. And I guess what I'm trying to figure out, there's so much money to be made from silage via grass, or grass via silage, however you want to say it, that it seems a shame not to take advantage of it. I mean, you really can make just extraordinary amounts of money with grass, and our loan right now, I believe it went up, it went down. We sold all those bales, then we bought some land. I think we're still right around €1 million of debt, and we can get out of that debt with grass, with silage, but I'm not kidding, I really do not want to bale and sell 270 bales again. And we were even doing it in a pretty efficient way. And in fact, off camera, what I ended up doing was I had the Deutz-Fahr 9 with the butterfly mowers follow me on the Deutz-Fahr 7 with the baler wrapper, and then this truck that we're in right now with the tandem flatbeds with auto load, that was on follow me behind the Deutz-Fahr 7, loading bales automatically, so we didn't have to go gather them up. And then when it was full, when it had a full, is it 60? It's 68. Yeah, it's 34 and 34. When it has a full 68 bales on it, then I disable follow me, hop in the truck manually, drive it up to the barn and sell it. I did that 3.5 times. Oh, it was crazy. I mean, we'll do it again if we have to, but I really feel like bulk silage is the way to go. Now, the only way that bulk silage is the way to go is if we have a net savings of time. And my concern is, if we rent the Big M and the Big X and a 75,000 liter trailer for this truck, or if we rent 2 75,000 liter trailers and we rent another truck, so we can set up courseplay, right? Can we make all this work? Can we set it up in a way that we have a net savings of time versus selling wrapped bales? Because if we don't, right, if we can set up a truck on follow me and it follows the forage harvester, and then as soon as it's full, we have to stop, get in it, manually drive it down to the BGA, unload it, bring it back, put it on follow me again. I don't know that that's necessarily a time saving, because with the baler wrapper, although we have to go very slowly because it's continuing to unload and we do have to chase down some runaway bales, we are taking bales up there. Well, 34 bales at 4,000 per bale is 120,000 times 2, so that's 250,000 liters of silage per trip, right? Versus the biggest trailer that I think you can get is about 75,000 liters. So we'd have to make 3 trips down to the VGA with a trailer full of silage to equal 1 trip to the store with the tandem trailers with bales. So for there to be net savings, we'd really have to have Courseplay working, and I just don't know that it can because those are not pull-through clamps. So I'm really kind of scratching my head here trying to figure out how do we do this. I mean, we know we can bale and wrap and sell at the barn. We know we can do that. And we don't get any digestate when we do that. And we are spending quite a bit of money on fertilizer right now because we're still on pellet fert. And we've got slurry now and we've got manure, but not enough to do any of those big fields. If we were selling silage at the BGA and getting the digestate, we would have more than enough. And then somewhat off topic, that little pond, that little slurry pond, that is a decorative feature. I went and checked it out with F5 and I see no trigger on it. So we would not be able to store any type of fertilizer there and then refill from that. As far as I know. I mean, I haven't physically tried it with a trailer, but as far as I know, that's just decorative, which is fine. Not a big deal. So we're leaving a little bit of money on the table in that we do not have any digestate being produced when we sell, carefully, when we sell our silage. But mostly it's the time. So I'm curious what the solution is and if there's anything we can do. Give me a trigger. Why am I not seeing a trigger? There it is. It's having a bit of a panic right there. It's been a morning. It's been a morning and an afternoon. I'll tell you what, for some reason I was thinking this was not going to let me sell milk, and it was, oh, I'm coming out of the booth. Right, so we're going to need to back this up just a bit. Just a bit. Right about there. I don't have an answer at the moment. If you have a solution, please do let me know in the comments. And just to kind of recap, I don't know if Courseplay can support multiple trailers running down to either one of those BGAs, and neither has a pull-through clamp. I can't find a way to place our own BGA on the property without destroying the feel of the map. And then we would also need to find a place to put the bunkers in, to put the clamps in. So that's really not viable either. I mean, I guess we could just unload to our own bunkers at the dairy farm and then use maybe the belt system to load. But I don't know if we can tip directly into the hoppers at the BGA or if we would need to have another belt system down there and essentially we're dropping the silage on the ground. That seems like about the same amount of work as taking bales to the barn. You see what I mean? As much work as it is, and as long as it took to get all those bales wrapped, and even with auto load, loaded, and up to the barn, as long as that took, every other way that I can think of to sell 1 million liters of silage, I can't really find an efficient way to do it. Now, I don't know if the map makers set it up that way intentionally. If they did, cool. You know, it's such a tight map. Even getting equipment down here from the store is a challenge. It's like you almost have to have very small equipment on this map with great big fields. There's simply no way to get it physically out of the store parking lot and down that narrow lane. So if the map maker set it up in a way that you can't run Courseplay to the BGAs, or set it up so that the clamps are not pull through, so you can't use Courseplay, you know, good on you, map maker. I feel you working. I see what you're doing. I feel you boxing me in, and I'm okay with that. You know, it's a riddle to solve, and that is when Farm Sim is the most fun for me. When you have a problem and you're going to try to solve it, and you know that other people playing the same map are going to have that same problem, and they're going to solve it in a completely different way. I really, really like that. Now, I guess the other thing we could do, you know, the other thing we could do, we could buy fields down near the BGA. Moment, please. Set the brake. Hang on. See, I mean, if we give it enough time, we can solve any problem. How about field 14? That's 87,000. So that would be 200. But this would be 370 and 310. So call it 700,000 euro for all this. Oh, but that doesn't work because all of our grass is down here. All right. Never mind. All right. I thought I had an answer. I mean, we could sell field 6-3, right? And get rid of that. Or we could give it over to soybeans or canola. I mean, there's no loss when you sell land in this game. It's not like a vehicle. Whatever you paid for it when you bought it, that's what you get when you sell it. So we could sell, I mean, we could theoretically harvest all our fields and then immediately sell them, right? Once we get all the crop out of them. And then, I mean, could we? Should we? The problem with that, I have to say, is we would then, well, we'd still have our meadow grass fields south of the farm. Right? We wouldn't have our crop grass fields anymore, but we would have our meadow grass fields, and I think that would be enough to keep our cows alive. And also, we're sort of getting into amounts of money that, you know, the idea of here's our little, there it is. The idea of spending 20 or 30,000 euro to buy silage bales, right, to make food, is really, I don't want to say not a big deal, but it's sort of not a big deal. You know, it's when we really had no money at all, it was a big deal. But when we're dealing with €1 million loan and big interest payments and various other things, the idea of, you know, just having to buy food perhaps we can't harvest, or maybe the grass is not, there's not enough of it, or it's not harvestable in time, right? So the idea that we would need to buy some bales to keep the cows alive is not, it's not the worst thing, I guess, is what I'm saying. So square this up, because I like when things are square. Drop that. We're going to get in this one, and we're going to go sell some soybeans. Are you okay with this as an episode? This is a little different, because I'm really just kind of thinking out loud, trying to figure out what to do, and we need to sell some of this stuff, so I thought we would head to market a couple times while we're trying to crack this problem. You know, there's the belt system, there's the milling machine. It's kind of hokey, you know. It's not, I imagine such a thing exists in real life. I mean, the assembly on the front of the self-propelled food mixer, carefully. The assembly on the front of the self-propelled food mixer is a real thing. That's a thing that you can use to drive into a pit and actually load silage directly from the silage, from the wall of silage. You can load that directly into your food mixer. So there is some type of an apparatus that can grab silage from a pile and do something with it. So the milling machine, if you're not familiar with it, looks almost like a piece of forestry equipment, and you put it on the front of a tractor. It's got a little pipe, and you essentially drive it into anything. In this case, we'd be driving it into silage, and it would fill the trailer, for lack of a better word. It's sort of like the belt system. Let's click through here. It's sort of like the belt system, but I don't know. It is a little contrived. It might not be the most realistic thing, but we could use that to load trailers here and then take them down to either one of the BGAs. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling an answer really presenting itself like in a super quick way. It's not frustrating. It's just, can we go around the back here? I wouldn't say it's frustrating. It's, hang on, that didn't work. So if we go in here carefully, that's a little better. Maybe. Barely. Still gonna go over the curb. And I think, hang on. Moment, please. Set the brake. How about here? Yeah, we're gonna need a little screenshot. And there it is. Beautiful. Brakes off. HUD is back on. Here we go. So yeah, I don't have an answer at the moment. I'll try to think about it over the next day or so because I'll need to record again on Wednesday to post on Thursday, and I'd like to have something by then. I mean, the next time we come back in, all of our canola will be ripe. And all of our grass will be second growth stage and ready to mow again. And we've got to figure out something to do with it. And there's also the possibility that all these fields over here, I mean, if we buy a forage harvester, then I think we need to really consider the possibility of planting all these fields to our right, the ones we're driving between right now, planting all of these with corn. Because if we could get Courseplay working, so we could just drive that forage harvester and have the trucks just make trip after trip after trip to any BGA, either our own or one of the ones on the map. If we could get that working, oh man, we could. I believe we could easily make €1 million in an episode, and that would take care of the loan and really get us on the road to profitability. Now, I'm disappointed because I had thought that we might be able to build a little energy company as we did on Holzer, but because of the angle of the terrain, I think that's just not going to happen, and that was really disappointing. I guess I sort of underestimated how flat that meadow was in the Holzer map where we built those things, but it had to be, well, if it wasn't intended to have things built in it, it was just an amazing coincidence that there was a field that flat, because other than that, I don't know that we would really be able to have had that kind of luck building a facility with that many different placeables in it and have it not look terrible. So it was, you know what? I just thought of something. I'm going to wait till we get to the Baywa. I'm going to wait till we sell these, and then we're going to tab one time. We're going to teleport one time. Because I just thought of something. Now, it sort of cuts both ways. It's, yeah. It sort of cuts both ways. It could solve one problem and simultaneously cause another one. But I just thought of something. Let's get this dropped off, and I'll show you what I'm thinking. That could be our answer right there. Oh, it's this thing's a little finicky. Now, thinking about some of the facilities that we had in that meadow at Holzer, we had a clamp, we had a BGA, we had Stevie's heat plant where we could sell poplar, but we never harvested any poplar. We had a slurry and digestate sell point, buy point, whatever you want to call it, and we had a solar powered shed, or a shed with solar panels on the roof that actually made us money. We had a lot of things in there, and most of them either contributed to or made us money, or right. Oh, and then we had all those solar panels too. Yeah. Okay. I think I might have a fix. And I think it might be very similar to Holzer, because if you recall, that meadow where we built all of those things at Holzer, that was at the sheep farm, right? And the first thing that we built was the slurry and digestate purchase point, because we did not own, when we started on Holzer, all we owned was that sheep farm, and we had no access to slurry or digestate, but we wanted to stay organic. So we put that facility in. That was the first thing we bought. And I just threw it in that meadow because it fit there, more or less. So you see where I'm headed with this. It could be that we end up with similar facilities at our sheep farm on this map, even though we have access to slurry from our dairy and beef operations. Hang on, let's dump this out right here. We're 12,000 a year. Let's see how much money we get. I think 60,000 liters at what, 1,200? We should get 75,000. My math is correct. Moment. And we're at 25 minutes. This is perfect because once this empties out, 92,000. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. 92,000. More than 75,000. That's math. So if we stop this right here and put the brake on, if we go back here, right, you see where I'm headed because we own these two. Moment, please. Now, this is all forestry, is it not? It is. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, man, I don't want that. I want that. Yep, this one is all trees. How much is that? 169,000. And we already own this one. So if we go here, you know I don't like teleporting, but sometimes it must be done. Let me get my bearings here. Okay. How flat is this field? Oh. Holy monkey. Look at this. Flat as a pool table. Okay. So this is our answer. Now let's go take a look at this other meadow over here. We don't own it yet, but it's bigger. And it's on the highway. I can see already we got a little bit of a grade. I need to put that away as well. Got a little bit of a grade, but let's take a look up here. This is... Oh, are you kidding me? Hey, I'll tell you what I'm thinking after we take a look at this. Yeah, this is... Oh, there's your answer. There's your answer. This is pretty damn flat. Yep, this could be the solution. Now, let me show you something funny. Let me show you something. Check this out. We would have our BGA here, right? The northwesternmost corner of the map, we'd have our BGA, and our grass is in the southeastern corner of the map. They could not be further apart. Is that a coincidence? You think that's a coincidence, or do you think the map maker set it up that way? I don't know. I don't know. Let's do it. Next episode, I'll continue selling commodities off camera. I'll pay down the loan a little bit. I'll make sure we have plenty of money in the bank. We're going to need about $500,000, I think, to build the facility that I want to build. And next episode, we will start expanding, and we will build BGA. We'll build a pull-through clamp, and probably a big garage for some of our big equipment. And unfortunately, it's going to be on absolutely the opposite side of the map from where all our activity is. That's fantastic. I love it. There you go. There's a little screenshot. No, not a screenshot. Just a nice way to end the episode. There you go. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19. This is the Geiselsberg map, and we'll see you next time. Take care now.